What's up guys, welcome to Daily Refinement. My new store, Reseller Nirvana, just hit 100 listings, which is very exciting. My old store, Daily Refinement, has 27,223 listings, and it's kind of in a holding pattern. It hasn't been growing very much lately because I can't outlist the number of sales, but that's actually happening in this new store, Reseller Nirvana, as well. Today, and this is going to sound really ridiculous, but I had 10 sales today in the Reseller Nirvana store with only 100 listings. So I want to go over a couple of the reasons why that's going on, but I need to get your opinion first. So I'm now listing all of my items outside. So if you look at the listing quality of the photos, it's difficult to match this kind of lighting indoors. So I think I have a bit of an advantage because I'm using the suns, because the sun gives really accurate lighting and it makes these items really pop. So here's an example. On this pair of shoes, I want to ask you guys, which image do you like more? This image, which is like a 3/4 shot, or this picture, which is the retail standard picture? So if I go to Flight Club, which is how this is like a site that I like to buy sneakers from, if you look at their pictures, they're typically retail standard, which is just the right shoe and white background. This is retail standard. I used to take my photos like this, or try to, because I really liked this store, so I just copied it. But because this kind of photo setup takes more time, I just decided to try just doing it retail standard with a gray background. This picture is taken outside, so I think the color is tremendously accurate, versus on Flight Club it looks a little bit like artificial, like a stock picture. I honestly think that the pictures outside give the shoe a better accurate representation of what it actually looks like. So what do you like better, the 3/4 shot or the shot with just the retail standard? And I actually have both, so I think that it's not going to prevent me from making a sale because I have pictures of all the different angles. I'm trying to include 12 pictures on every single item in the store because I'm really trying to make this store pop, and so I want to do everything that I can to give the customer the best experience possible. But I personally like this 3/4 shot more. So if you look at my store, all of the shoes are going to have a slight angle to them, so you can see both shoes in the shot. I know some people say that they don't like the single shoe shot because it could be an amputee shoe where it's just one, but that I never really think that it's only going to come with one shoe. I think it's going to come with both shoes, but I just personally like the 3/4 shot, so that's what I use as my profile picture. Now I want to talk about something, because in my store I'm going to combine shopping at the Goodwill bins with Consignment. And the shoes that I'm listing right now are on Consignment from myself. And if you look at the pricing, you might wonder, why are some of the prices lower than the other ones? And let me give you guys an example. This is a men's size 7. It's not a very good size for men's shoes. When you buy liquidation or you buy store closeouts, sometimes you get the shoes that the store can't sell. So size 7, size 5. So we'll go into and look at some of the items I listed. I listed these New Balances that are fantastic. Why am I selling brand new shoes for $19.99? The reason is because they're size 5. That's not a great size. So even though these are a women's shoe and size 5 is more common than size 5 men's, these are still going to take a long time to sell, even at $19.99. So I want people to realize, if you're buying liquidation, you're not going to always get the best inventory, and that's part of it. So I'll show you guys the profit margins on this stuff. It's really low. So I'm basically splitting the profit with myself 50-50 on these consignment items, and I wanted to show you guys what kind of profits liquidation has. So I sold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs of these shoes already, and the most profit I made on a pair was $8, and the lowest profit I made is $4. So I made between $4 and $8 per pair of brand new shoes, and the reason why is because the market conditions on these are just not very strong. We're talking size 7, size 8 men's, size 5 women's, not the best stuff. So I manually researched the market on every single one of these pairs to find out what the going rate was, and I'm priced just ever so slightly less than everybody else. So I imagine, even though these are undesirable sizes, they will still sell if you price them low enough, and that's something that a lot of people don't understand. They would list this pair of loafers, if you got a pair of Sebago loafers in the most common men's shoe size, which is 10.5, you'll see the prices are much higher. You get $30, $40, $50 per pair of shoes because it's a more common size. Size 10.5 is the most common size in the US. But size 7, not very common, right? This is almost a kid's size shoe. So one thing I could add to this listing to make it a little bit better even is to add a ruler, because sometimes this picture, some people say that the shoe looks really long. You might not be able to tell this is a size 7, which is like, you know, like a big kid could wear a size 7 in the men's. So just something to consider for you guys. I am pulling out all the tricks on this new store, meaning I'm using as many keywords as I can, using as many pictures as I can. I'm taking pictures outside because the color is going to be the most accurate. This photo setup costs like 10 bucks. It's just a piece of carpet from Home Depot, and I'm in the shade outside. So what you want to do is, I know some people live where there's no sun, but if you live in a place with sun, you go hop outside, take pictures during the, you know, a certain time of day. For me, it's any time because it's California, but I think you should be able to take 10 sets of photos in about 15 minutes. So don't worry about timing it. Some people have these like fancy calendars to try to, you know, let them know what time of day they should take pictures, but honestly, shouldn't be taking pictures for that long. I'm trying to do this entire store just on Sunday. So take the pictures of all my items on Sunday, and then I list those items throughout the week, and I'm trying to list at least 10 items per day this month. So 300 new items into the store, and this store's sell-through rate, I think it will drop slightly. Shoes sell faster than clothing for me, but I think hopefully I'll be able to get to 300 listings by the end of the month, but it's going to be a challenge because I'm basically cherry picking items I know are going to sell really fast. And that's really the secret to this experiment, is just me really being careful with what I buy, writing the best title that I can. If you're curious what I sold, you can go click on the sold listings right here. Don't click the deals and savings. So you can see here are the 95 items that I have sold so far. A couple of them I had more than one, so I've sold in the ledger 98 items so far. I'm pretty proud of the profit margin on these 45%, considering a lot of it is consignment because I didn't have any capital to work with. 45% stellar in my opinion. And if you're going for, you have really limited capital and you want to just run a really tight eBay ship, you can find somebody that will give you inventory. So if somebody wanted to run a ship where they keep track of every single penny, I would be happy to supply that store, right? Because that's splitting the work. I find the inventory that sells and you do the work of listing it on eBay. You could just copy the way that I do it and we'll have a fantastic partnership. So that's what it is. And I think, okay, here's another example. I just want to show you guys something really quick. This Converse pair of boots, I'm going to click this in here. I'm going to show you guys the competition. So let me see. Somebody else has these shoes for $3 more, and the last time they sold one was August 16th, which was a month ago. And they've never sold a size 11, which is the size that I had. So even though they actually they don't have a size 11 available, it's only size 8, but I sold this pair of shoes literally the same day. But I think that if you were to compare the listings, this is this person's listings. This is inside of a light box probably. And I used to think these photos looked good because I thought I was trying to copy Flight Club, but honestly, these pictures do not look like Flight Club. They don't. They're not even close. This is totally sloppy compared to basically a perfect stock photo. But if we compare these photos to the photos of my listing, let's see, let's go back. What do you guys think? This is the actual color of the shoes. They're actually dark green. This is like a dark army green. These pictures are taken outside. I feel like this is a ridiculously accurate representation of what the shoes actually look like. I package all of my items in plastic. I think it gives a better presentation when the customer gets it. This is my SKU number 169 in box number 2. I'm in the second box, by the way, now. So box number 1, I'm in my second moving box right now. You can pick these boxes up at Home Depot for $2.50, or you can find them in the garbage can like I did for free. And get your business started with a very cheap and efficient inventory system. I also let customers know if there's no original box. I put ships without original box because a lot of customers do like it. This pair of shoes came in that liquidation lot, and I'm only going to make $10.45 on it. But that's perfectly fine because in the beginning, you have to get some capital rolling into your store. I'm now at $177 to work with to buy inventory, and I have $464 in my tax jar for this store, which is pretty exciting. You know, there are other expenses involved with this, like, you know, a partial write-off for the space that I use, gas. There's other things I could write off, but assuming I didn't have any write-offs, $464 in the tax jar is nice. And my first return came in the J. Crew puffer. The way I decided to handle that was I just treated it as a separate transaction, like a bill. So eBay billed me $38.35 for that return. And so, but I have the jacket again, so I can now relist the jacket. And the original transaction I just left alone. So it's like eBay sent me a bill, so now I'm relisting the jacket that was returned with the cost of goods of 0, because I've already accounted for the cost in a previous transaction. So a lot of people were asking me for an easier way to do this than line by line, but I think that you should do it line by line. If I could redo my whole history on eBay, I would have started with a spreadsheet like this so that I could have understood where the fees come from. Like, as an example, if you go to your payments, you might not know that eBay charges you extra if the customer lives in a different country. So let me scroll down here to this. I'll click on this one. Yeah, here we go. The customer's registered address is in Costa Rica. So even though I'm sending this to Florida, I'm shipping this to Florida to a shipping consolidator. Is that what that's called? Where it goes there and then it goes to Costa Rica. So even though I'm not sending this to Costa Rica, I'm sending it to Florida, I have to pay this international fee, which is 46 cents on this transaction, which is significant. That's 50 cents extra just because the customer lives in a different country. So in the beginning, I definitely recommend doing this manually, because that way you can understand where does all the money go on eBay. Most YouTubers don't talk about where the money goes, how it actually works. So I highly, highly recommend you figure this out, because if you do, you'll have such a tremendous advantage over other people selling on eBay that have no idea what's going on. So I'm averaging 5.4 listings per day, and my goal is 10, so I'm about halfway to the goal. I'm averaging 2.5 sales per day, and my goal is 10 per day. And I currently have 108 items for sale because I have some replenishable items in here, meaning they're not replenishable. I have some multi-quantity items in my store where I have more than one available. So I have 108 items for sale, even though I only have 100 listings in my store. So again, I think it's really important to do what you can to really do a great job in the beginning, because this store is really brand new. It only has 27 feedback, and it's only 38 days old. But because all of my items have sold so quickly and every single item has arrived early, let's look at this again. I just want to look at my metrics over here. So I have had already 70 packages arrive early, and none of them arrived late. You can see here I have one return, which is the J. Crew jacket. I wonder if you can get top rated seller early, because I will hit the, let me just look at this really quick. Let me look at the orders. 102. Wow, I've already had 102 orders. Now, not everybody paid, right? So you guys were asking me about the scam artists, the people that don't pay. There's been a bunch of those already. But I will have 100 transactions by the 20th this month, which is when they do the evaluation. So I wonder if they'll give it to me. It says you have to be a seller for 90 days, but I will have met all the requirements by month 2 to be top rated seller, which is exciting. So top rated seller is really important because it makes a lot of these things cheaper. Makes your final value fees cheaper, and it makes shipping cheaper, which is really, really cool because hopefully my profit margin can climb a couple more percent, because I really want that 50% profit margin. And I think a lot of people don't really even understand that, because people are saying, I have a 90% profit, I have a 100% profit. They're not accounting for all their fees, because to get 70, 80, 90% profit, you'd have to get your items for free and sell them for $30 to $40. Most people are not actually doing that. They buy something for $5 and they sell it for $20, and they think that that's 90% profit margin. It's not. When you back out all of the fees, it's like 20% profit margin. So make sure you understand all the different fees. I highly, highly recommend you take the time to learn this. If you don't, you're just at such a huge disadvantage over people who take the time to learn, because you don't really know what items are selling best for you, and you don't know which items you make the most profit on. You don't know which items you're losing money. You don't know which items never sell. So I appreciate your time. Please smash the like button. Consider joining my Patreon with my colleague Tech and Sports. So what I would do is I would go to patreon.com/theresellerspodcast. There are 3 tiers. $4.99 you get access to our podcast. We have 50 episodes now, 50. Our premium Facebook group has now 1,000 members in it. That's 1,000 people's goal that are trying to reach their reseller nirvana goal, which is where they list and sell the same number of items per day. And I set that goal at 10 for most people. So $35 a month. It is recurring. It charges you when you sign up for all the previous content, and then $35 on the first of every single month. You can cancel at any time, and if for some reason you're not making more money, let us know and we will refund you in full. The $99 VIP coaching is the same thing as the Facebook group, except for every 2 weeks we do a live coaching if you want to do that. That's really the only difference between the Facebook group and the mentorship, is every other week we have a live call. It's a better value to get the Facebook group because you can just tag us in the group and we'll answer your question. So we recommend the $35 group. We have had barely any cancellations in about a year of doing this. We've lost, I think, only a few people, only a handful of people in an entire year of doing this. So we now have 1,500 people either listening to the podcast or in the Facebook group. It's a really, really great community of people that are doing it. I recommend that you join for the entire year because it's a 16% discount, and it's going to take you a while to learn all the different components of a listing in order to get things to sell quickly. It's more complicated than you think. I'm sorry, it's not more complicated. It's more time consuming than you think, but much more simple than you think. So it takes more time, but it's less steps than you think. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next show.